One is a pop culture giant that changed movies forever. The other is a legendary sci-fi saga that pushed the limits of imagination. But here's the real question. Why did Star Wars explode into a billion-dollar empire while Star Trek, despite being older, never reached the same level of mainstream dominance? Before Star Wars even existed, there was Star Trek. Back in 1966, Gene Roddenberry created a sci-fi show that wasn't about space battles, it was about ideas. It was sci-fi for thinkers, tackling racism, war, and ethics through a futuristic lens. But while Star Trek was influential, it wasn't exactly a cultural explosion. It got canceled after only 3 seasons and barely survived through reruns and fan conventions. Then in 1977, boom, Star Wars dropped like a nuclear bomb. Forget slow philosophical debates. This was laser swords, space battles, and a hero's journey so simple yet perfect, it became a myth for a whole new generation. And the secret weapon? Merchandise. George Lucas was smart enough to keep the toy rights, and within months, Star Wars wasn't just a movie, it was an entire industry. Here's where things get interesting. Star Wars is simple, good versus evil. A farm boy becomes a hero. A space wizard turns into a villain. It's easy to get into. Meanwhile, Star Trek? It's complicated. It's about diplomacy, ethics, and deep space exploration. It asks big questions instead of just blowing things up. And while that's amazing for hardcore sci-fi fans, it doesn't sell as many lunchboxes. After Star Wars took over pop culture, Star Trek had to evolve. It moved from TV to movies, but even its biggest film, The Wrath of Khan, only made a fraction of what Star Wars did. And that's the problem. Star Trek has always been inconsistent. For every hit like The Next Generation, there's a flop like Enterprise. For every great movie like First Contact, there's The Final Frontier dragging it down. Today, Star Wars is a corporate powerhouse. Disney bought it for $4 billion and turned it into an unstoppable content machine, whether fans like it or not. Even a bad Star Wars movie still makes over $1 billion. Meanwhile, Star Trek has stayed in its lane. Still smart, still thoughtful, but never as mainstream as Star Wars. Even the Star Trek movies with Chris Pine never hit Star Wars levels of success. So who wins? If we're talking money, it's definitely Star Wars hands down. But if we're talking true sci-fi with depth, Star Trek takes the crown. One is a blockbuster, the other is a legacy of ideas. But at the end of the day, why not just love both?